So this is an Elddis Sanremo 435. Just going to take you around the van and show you how it operates. Front of the van, you've got the jockey wheel, hitch and handbrake. We'll demonstrate this to you in person here on site. In the front locker, you have your gas bottle with your gas regulator on the bulkhead coming across to the top of the gas bottle. The pipework that goes into the bottle is a reverse thread fitment, so you need to turn it the opposite way to a standard fitment or a standard bottle cap, for instance, to release it from the bottle. On top, you can see closed on there, and on the other side it says open. Turn it in the correct direction and it'll open up the gas supply or turn the gas supply off. You can carry a maximum of 2 6-kilogram propane gas bottles on the caravan at any time. Coming down the far side of the caravan now, you've got your heating and hot water flue, and that is very simply there to allow the heating system to breathe. Below that, you have the wind down leg to stabilise the caravan while it is on site. You'd lower the leg and put it onto the ground and lift the legs when you're travelling. However, you would never lift the caravan with these legs, as it could potentially damage the floor of the caravan. On the side of the van here, you have your water pump connection, very simply pulls out or pushes into place. You can lock the cap down to lock the pump into position. You then have your battery box in the side here. As you can see, your battery box is your battery's in there, and then your mains power lead comes down the side. You'll also see a red power key in the back here, which is for the motor mover, and we'll demonstrate that to you here on site in person. 2 grey vents that you see just there are the fridge vents, and they're very simply there to allow hot air at the back of the fridge unit and to take some cool air in. On the top right hand side of that, you'll find a gas flue for when the fridge is running on gas. You'd never cover the vents up, the same as the vents at the front, as they do kick out a lot of heat, and it could cause problems for the systems if you do cover them. The motor mover, as I said, will demonstrate while you're here on site, and we'll also torque the wheel nuts before you leave site with the caravan, so they've been torqued to the correct manufacturer setting. You then have your toilet flush tank. You open this up and you put 3.5 litres of water in here and a cap full of the pink fluid prior to using the toilet system. In the bottom, you'll find your toilet waste cassette, which you release by pulling up the orange handle and pulling it towards you. The neck here turns out 90 degrees, so you can tip the waste away. And on the back of the cassette, you'll find an orange pressure relief button, so when you're tipping the waste away, it doesn't spit and splatter back at you. In this cassette, you'll need to put 1 litre of water and a cap full of the blue fluid prior to use. On the rear of the caravan, on either side, you'll find your 2 wind down legs. As you can see, we've got one down at the moment, but you'll see the second one on this side here. And again, you just put them down to the ground, touch them on the ground to stabilise the van, but again, you wouldn't lift the van with these legs. Coming down the front of the van, on the left hand side of the van, you'll find the last wind down leg, and that is the only piece on the left hand side of the caravan that you need to be aware of. So, coming inside the caravan now, you'll see you've got the main control panel as you walk in the door. Bottom left hand side, you have your master power switch. That's power on and off for the whole caravan. This will operate the 12 volt and 240 volt systems on board the caravan, so even if you're off grid, in the sense of you've got no mains power coming into the caravan, you'd still need to have this switch on when you are on site to allow the electrical systems to work. You then have your lights internally on the caravan, you have your awning light for the outside just above the door, and you have your water pump run, which I'll come back to in a moment. At the top here, you have your voltmeter for the battery on board the caravan, and again, that will operate when the power is turned on. If when the power's turned off, that will drop down. So the first thing you're going to need to do, I'm just going to turn that pump switch off for a minute. First thing you're going to need to do is when you come inside the caravan is fill the water system up on board the caravan. So underneath the seat on the front right hand side of the van, underneath the seating area, you'll see a yellow valve just in that corner. Now, as you'll see at the moment, or should be able to see in that video there, it is laying flat with the floor at the moment. What that essentially means is you can fill up the water system on board the van with that valve is flat. If that valve was upright and pointing towards the bottom of the seat, it would drain all of the water out of the onboard water system. The water system being this tank here and the pipe work on board the caravan. So like I said, that valve would need to be parallel with the floor as it is at the moment. Once that valve is flat with the floor, you can come over to every tap on board the caravan. I'm just going to demonstrate it from the kitchen tap at the moment, just so you can see how it feels. But you'll come over to every tap on board the caravan, open up all the taps on the hot side of the water system. As you can see, we've got water running out of the tap because I've already filled it. But initially, when you turn on the water system, there'll be no water coming out of the taps. So as you can see, it's just dying off pressure-wise now. And you'll get quite a bit of air when you first turn on the water pump, a bit like when the water's been turned off at home. So you turn the pump on, the water system will start filling. And once you've got water running out of every tap continuously on board the caravan, you can then shut all of the taps back off and start thinking about warming the water on board the caravan. Before you do that, you'd need to make sure this switch here on the left hand side front of the caravan is turned on, and that is your main power to the heating and hot water system. On the opposite side of the caravan, you'll find another set of dials and switches. Now on here, the top one here will say water heater, and it does as it says on the tin. You've got the gas mode on the left hand side, and on the right hand side you've got the electric water heating. Now if you have the gas turned on in the front locker, all you very need to simply do is flick this switch down to the bottom, and when it ignites on gas, the green light here on the top left hand side will illuminate, and that is your pilot light, a bit like you have on your boiler at home. The red light is a fail light, so that light will illuminate if the water heater fails to ignite on gas, and as you can see right on cue, it has ignited. To turn the water heater off on gas, you'll simply flick this switch back to the top and it'll isolate the gas supply to the water heater. The other option you have for igniting the water system or running the water system is the electric side on the right hand side here. So you've got 500 watts of electric coming into the caravan that you can warm the water heater up on, or you've got 1,000 watts of electric coming into the caravan that you can warm up the heater on. You'll only know what you can set this to when you ask the site office when you arrive on your holiday. Below that you have your actual heating for the caravan. So you've got 500 watts, 1,000 watts, the same as the water heater, and 2,000 watts. Again, this will depend on what site you're on to what you can set this to. To control the heat of the room heater, you've got this dial here below, which if it's right round on the frost symbol here at the bottom, it means it's on the coldest setting. And if you go right round to the thicker line on this end, it means it's on the hottest setting. And that is the same for each of these as you go across. If you want to run blown air heating, so the caravan heats through the vents around the caravan that you'll be able to see in different locations around the van. Can't see one from here at the moment, but it will blow around the van then from the blown air system on board the van. Again, you control the temperature on this dial at the bottom here. To ignite the heater on gas, you spin this dial to the bottom to the flame symbol, and if it ignites on gas, you'll have a green light here at the top, and if it fails to ignite, you'll have a red light here at the bottom. Again, you control the temperature of the heater on the dial at the bottom here. To turn the heater off, you'll spin it back to the off position on the right hand side. Hob, grill and oven all work very much like your household appliances. The only difference being is that the 240 electric ring on the cooker here will only work if you've got mains power plugged into the caravan. The microwave works on electric, on mains power supply, and you have to hit the eco button here to wake the microwave up, because you'll notice when you come into the van the screen will be dark. You hit the eco button and it will wake up, and there is a reminder on the front here. Like I said, it is just a power saving mode. The fridge works very simply. You have your main power button on the left hand side here, which turns the fridge on. The first setting we come to is mains 240 volt. If you're on mains or gas, you can control the temperature of the fridge on the button on the right hand side here. If you try to ignite the fridge on gas, or want to ignite the fridge on gas, you'll have to hit the flame symbol just here, and it will self-ignite on gas, and this is essentially your pilot light that goes solid blue. If it fails to ignite, it'll actually flash the blue light here, and it will flash the red warning triangle on the right hand side. If it does do this, you can press and hold the button on the right hand side to reignite, or start to reignite the fridge system on gas. If you're towing down the road and you want to use the fridge as a cool box, you can simply do that by clicking the 12 volt mode here. And as at the moment you can see, it isn't currently operating and it is flashing to indicate there is no 12 volt source from the car we're towing with. That will only work from the 12 volt source from the car, not the 12 volt battery on board the caravan, and it simply turns the fridge into a cool box. So as you're travelling down the road, the fridge cools to allow the beer and wine, or the butter even, to stay cold. Coming into the bathroom, and the last thing we're going to demonstrate on this particular caravan. In the bathroom you have an electric flush on the toilet, as you can see here. You have a red indicator light to let you know when the toilet waste cassette is completely full. The toilet seat itself turns for your convenience, as you can see here. And below the toilet you'll find a grey waste flap. You need to make sure when you're using the loo that grey waste flap is pushed over towards the wall on the opposite side of here. And you also need to make sure it's back in the central position when you finish using the loo. And also it needs to be in that central position when you are removing the toilet waste cassette from underneath the caravan. The toilet seat itself also needs to be back in the central position when you are removing the toilet cassette from underneath the van, as if it's not, you could potentially damage your toilet waste cassette, the same as if the toilet flap is open at the bottom. So this is the Elddis Sanremo 435. If you have any further questions on the van, please don't hesitate to give us a call here at the Caravan Company, and we'll be more than happy to help. We appreciate the business, and we look forward to seeing you here on site soon. Thank you for now. Bye-bye.